Hey everyone, I wanted to give my review of the island being in early access and being an early access player. I thought it was really important that I kind of break it down because, to put it simply, I think this mode is severely underbaked. It wasn't thought out properly, and I'm just going to get into it right away about what I don't like, and I'm going to take you guys to one of the stores. So I'm going to take you guys to the Fanatics store where they keep a lot of the WWE merchandise. And one of the first things you'll see is the pricing. 18,000 for a jacket, and I mean it is the legendary Bret Hart, but it's not really that special and it doesn't really strike like excitement in my face, in my emotions rather. And it doesn't make me like really excited. I mean the material looks cool, but the pricing is just off. And just looking down at the shorts, 10,000 VC for Cena shorts, Cody Rhodes shorts, Bret the Hitman Hart shorts, LWO shorts. I feel like it shouldn't be that much. And 12,000 VC for John Cena Word Life sweater. Excuse me, I had like almost had like hiccups. 12,000 VC for a sweater is just not worth it. And I really think they need to think about the prices if they want to keep people around. And I feel like this should be easy unlockables if you do enough like leveling up and you shouldn't have to pay this much. It's just too much, I think. Just 12,000 for a CM Punk sweater. I just think it's egregious. It takes advantage of people's money and I think it's just not a fun way to stay engaged. It's just not. And it's like that for a lot of the stores in this game that have different themes, whether it's the Seth and Becky Driporium, which, by the way, I absolutely detest that name. I think it's you could have just called it an Emporium, and it would have been perfectly fine. And another thing I have to complain about right away is the lack of a travel system or a different way of traveling. Because in this game, as you see, you can either walk or you can sprint. And I feel like you should be able to have like wrestling themed bikes, skateboards, scooters, carts, and maybe they'll add that in future seasons, but it just doesn't feel right, and I feel like it's kind of a slap in the face to people because like you want to be immersed in the game, and you're not immersed in the game if all you're doing is running around. And I just feel like we need to have some kind of way to get around quicker. But I did want to take you guys to one of the loading areas to do PvP, and I wanted to tell you guys my thoughts on it, and I feel like you could do it better if it was just implemented better, and that's what I mean by you. Like, the developers, 2K, could have done better with this. Oh, and by the way, one of the biggest pet peeves personally for me is I like entrance themes, but I like to have different entrance themes as I'm playing the game. Because, there are some pretty good entrance themes, but it's dependent on where you're at. And it's very annoying because in this zone, you either are given John Cena's theme or you're given Cody Rhodes' theme, and that's it. And then like an Avengers like theme, and it's really annoying and very, very repetitive. I wish I could turn it off, but I can't. So, one of the things that I am not happy with at all is that to do PvP, you have to go up here and then you have to wait. You can't just go up to someone that has a nameplate and just start a match. I feel like it takes away from the experience, and I feel like it's not fair to us. Like, if we see someone that we think we should battle, we should be able to battle them, and we can't. And I just feel, again, it goes back to being underbaked and being a cash grab, and it's not fun at all. And you might say, why don't I play My Rise? Well, My Rise crashes currently. Well, you can play my faction. My faction isn't my thing. I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on virtual cards that are only good for a year and then I have to do the same thing again. And it's a missed opportunity because NBA has my park or the city and you can do like all this cool stuff and there's more stuff to do and there's a map and it's just not fun. And as you can see, they have very distinct zones. You have your Undertaker zone, and if you go in the Undertaker zone, you do a Hell in a Cell time match. But it feels lifeless, and I get that's how 2K is. Put out the bare minimum, and You just kind of have to deal with it, but I also feel like it's really, really disrespectful to people who really paid a lot of money. Like, I paid for the Bloodline edition to get access, and I just thought this would be as immersive, if not a little more, because wrestling is all about immersion and all about getting invested in the characters and the stories. And you're taking away features that in the game and other modes we can do, but you're saying, hey, you have to pay for those things. And one of those things that kind of proves it is if you go over to your My Superstar, you have to pay a ridiculous amount of money to even like level up your person. So like if you don't buy the Dead Man edition or the Bloodline edition, you have to buy it out of pocket. Like it's not even worth it. And you have to essentially buy almost like $100 to get to 100 overall, which I didn't want to do the grind, so that's what I ended up doing. But the Bloodline edition gets you 100k, which gets you about to a mid 95, and then you can buy like a $20 pack to get to 100. And even more than that is the fact that badges kind of have ridiculous requirements, and sometimes if you have to do PvP, you're not gonna get it because nobody's gonna let you sit there and complete your objectives. Now, if you level up your character, you get a bunch of badge points, which is great. But again, who's going to do a 20-minute match? Nobody's going to do a 20-minute match. They're going to do the cheesiest thing that they can do. They're going to do the quickest thing that they can do to win. Because to level up, it's 1,100 or 1,100 to win. And then if you lose 800 reputation. And so you're constantly going up, down in the ranks. I mean, I can go on and on, but I just feel like this is not the way to go about it. I mean, it's not the way to go. I mean, there are cool banners, and I have quite a few, but even paybacks are tied to like archetypes or backstories. Like my guy is an indie wrestler, and I don't think it should be tied to backstories. Like I can't access some of these because they're archetype based, and that's not right, man. And I think everybody should have the right to access all of them, no matter what. And like the quests are not, well, I can't even do the quests, which brings me to the biggest gripe that I have. So I'm gonna go over to where they have Roman Reigns' statue, which is like pretty focal on the island, like it's pretty front and center on the island. And it's one of the things that you can't miss really because I mean it's pretty much the island is based around his character being the tribal chief, you know, acknowledging him and what have you. And so when you go over here, you see that they planted a whole bunch of stuff, but you can't go in this. Like this arena, you can't go in this arena. There's no way, there's nothing you can do. There's all these random NPCs that you can't do anything. But one of the things that I don't understand is like there's this giant Roman area, Roman Reigns area, and you can't get into it yet. And I think it has to do with the story, which to me, I liked the first part of the story, but one of the things that I know a lot of people have noticed about it since it was in 2K20 was that the story and the quests are text based. There are a few videos, which I won't play, but there are a few videos that connect the quest, and then I had finished the first part of the story thinking, oh, I could just keep going and leveling up my stuff. Well, if you level up your stuff through the quest, you're probably going to get to level 18, maybe. But they want you to do PvP. And again, people are going to say, you can play the other modes. But I want to play with other people. But also, you need to make it a better, more immersive experience. It's just not worth it in its current state. And I don't know if they're going to do seasons based around the big 5 PLEs. And so I don't know how they're going to tie that together. It's just not exciting. And this is early access, so not everybody's seen this yet, but I just want you to all be aware that this is not the island of relevancy. This is the island of microtransactions. This is the island of buy, and hope that you get the character that you want. And one of the things that I didn't mention and didn't talk about was the fact that your menu screen pose you can't fully customize either. it's just really sad. I was excited because I haven't really thought about like a multiplayer island where everybody can get together and do matches, and like I want to see something where everybody is. You could watch somebody wrestle a five-star classic, a squash match. You could do all this stuff, but they don't think about that. It just doesn't feel like they really respect wrestling. They don't respect the engagement that people have with the wrestlers and the characters and the storylines. So I would like to know what you guys think, really. It's just sad, man, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye bye.